Disclaimer. This is future me doing the disclaimer. When I say my husband wouldn't let me go to the hospital, you had to go to hospital for a test then. We knew I had COVID. There was no point in taking me travelling miles and miles and miles to go somewhere where they'd probably... There was a lot of scaremongering and fear and false news at the time. And I don't know if this is true or not, but we was under the impression that if they knew I had COVID, they'd make me stay at the hospital, away from home, away from family, where it would have got worse. I don't do well at hospitals anyway. Plus, I was never actually that bad. I mean, I was very ill, but I was never actually that bad that I needed proper hospitalising. And if I had been that bad, the husband would have sent me to hospital. He wasn't being uncaring or irresponsible. And the other thing is, what I say about the vaccine is my own personal opinion and my own personal fears. You don't have to agree with me. Isn't it awful when we put out on the internet, we have to cover every single angle so people don't pick it apart and make it out to be something it's not. Anyway, that's the disclaimer over. Okay, right, roll the film! Hang on. I thought I'd better check it's recording. Don't want to have to do this twice. I'm liable to get teary on this one. I'm sorry. This is New Year's resolutions and hopes for the coming year, which will be 2021. I'm not normally one for resolutions, but more hopes for the coming year. This is a collaboration, but it's a very short notice collaboration, so I'm not going to sit here and say who's doing it. Just look in the description box and I will put down the names of all the channels that are doing it and the links to all the channels that are doing it if you want to check out theirs. So, New Year's Eve 2019, going into 2020. For the first time ever, I was like, everything's perfect. I don't need to do no resolutions because everything's perfect. I'm so happy. So I'm getting upset already. Then 2020 come. January, something awful happened, which I still can't discuss. But it made me question everything. I mean everything. Our entire family unit, our entire way of life nearly went up in flames. It was awful. Then, at the end of January, I had a chemical pregnancy. Then the virus hit. March come, I had COVID. I never had a test because in the early days in England, the only way to get tested was to go to the hospital. And the husband wouldn't let me go to the hospital because he said I wouldn't come out again. Because I was all grey and I was struggling to breathe. And I think he's right, because if I had gone to hospital, they'd have banged me on a ventilator. And they know now not to do that necessarily to begin with, because it can bust your lungs or something. Anyway, I was really ill. The husband was furloughed for months and months, but luckily his employers stood by them and made sure they had enough money, so we're very lucky for that. And also he was at home, so he was nursing me, which made me see how much we love each other, and everything is how it should be, even though you have to get through tough times sometimes. So, there's all that to deal with. Didn't see my mum for months and months. My mum's my major support person. And what I had planned for 2020, which obviously went out the window because of COVID, was I was meant to be in 3 shows. I was meant to be dancing in one in April, doing belly dance to You Ain't Never Had a Friend of Me out for Aladdin. Then in August, me and the husband were both meant to be dancing together, him as the Joker, me as Harley Quinn, in a show in August. And then in December, I was meant to be dancing to Katy Perry, Cozy Little Christmas. So all them dance shows went out the window. The other plan I had for 2020 was, I wrote a book ages ago, and I never get around to typing it up. And I thought, right, even if I don't get published, I want to at least done something to work towards that. And I have managed to type it up. I haven't sent it off anywhere yet, but I have managed to type it up, so I did manage to do that. And my other thing was to keep being happy with my husband and my kids and homeschooling. I mean, obviously there was a massive thing that happened in January, but apart from that, I am still happy with my husband and my kids. This whole isolation thing's made me realise we're a lot more self-sufficient and self-reliant as a family unit than I thought we was. We're a lot stronger than I thought we was. I'm a lot more self-sufficient as a mother than I thought I was. What else? I can't remember what else. But yeah. But even though I haven't, some of them resolutions went out the window, and some of them still manifest themselves but in a different way, like still being happy with the husband and the kids. We've done things, we've spent a lot of time together at home, really nice time together at home. I've never really liked this house. The husband picked it, but I liked the garden, and I hated it for the first year we was here. Couldn't wait to move, hated it. But having had these months of isolation, not going out to clubs, not, you know, going here, there and everywhere, just using this as a base, but actually, you know, staying at home, doing things at home. We're camping in the back garden, just being at home. I now think of it as home, and I now like this house. So it's made me, this year has made me like my house, made me think of this house as home. So that's a good thing as well. Plus we've got chickens, which I've always wanted chickens, but it was always in my, that maybe happen one day, probably maybe not happen one day box. But it's happened, and we have chickens, and that's another wonderful thing from 2020 which I didn't see coming. And also, with all that's happened in the world and all that's been happening with the schools about COVID and other things in England this year, it's made me think, I'm so glad we're homeschooling, because if we hadn't have homeschooled, as soon as this year hit, we'd have been doing it anyway. I wouldn't have been sending them back to school in this. So it makes me think we was on the right track all along, which is another good thing. Now, 2021, what I hope for 2021. Oh, I hope still be happy with my husband and my kids, still doing my best homeschooling. Excuse me. I'd like a dog, but the price of dogs has just shot up with all this COVID business. It's made every irresponsible breeder just charge whatever they like. But I'm hoping to do something towards that. Either, you know, get a jam jar and start saving up for a dog, or maybe look into cheaper options like a rescue dog or something. I want a dog. This book I've typed off, I want to start trying to send it off to publishers, because even if it doesn't get published, at least I've tried. You can't lose anything from trying. What else do I want to do? Oh, I want to be a bit more organised with my own school. I don't know if I'll stick to this or not, because we are quite go with the flow, and I still want to be go with the flow. But now Bod's 5 and I want to start doing bits and bobs with him. I don't know, I just want to set up some kind of block chart that says on it English, Spanish, maths, and just make sure I'm hitting one of them boxes a couple of times a week. Do you know what I mean? But I don't know. I'm not very organised, but I'm going to try and be a bit more organised. What else? I want to keep trying with my YouTube channel. I prefer my Facebook blog. I've got a page on Facebook, Home Educating the Mad Lads, which is more popular, more successful, and I'm better at it. I'm better at writing than I'm speaking. But even though getting subscribers on here is like a really slow, one step forward, 2 steps back type thing, I have been taking it a lot more seriously this year. I've made lots of friends, lots more friends over YouTube, which has been really nice for me, especially with me not being able to go out and meet anybody because of COVID. Yeah, I met a few friends, and I've been enjoying doing the collabs. And even though I've still got a paltry amount of subscribers compared to a lot of people, it has gone up a lot this year. So I want to keep trying to do that. I just, yeah, just do his best to protect his kids from not just the virus, but everything else that's going on. I am now more frightened of the vaccine and more frightened of our government than I ever was of the virus. So, yeah. So, I realise I ain't got a crystal ball. I can't see what's going to happen in 2021. But I'm going to try and keep calm and not panic too much. And believe in the fact that we are a strong family unit, and I'm a lot stronger than I thought I was. And we can get through this. Continue doing my best as a wife, mother and homeschooler. Try and keep trying to make friends over YouTube, and try and keep the friendships I've already got, even though I'm not seeing them, because when you're not seeing people, it's very easy to just not bother, isn't it? So try and check in with people a bit more. How you doing? I miss you and stuff like that. Try and send this manuscript I've typed up off, even if everybody tells me it's rubbish and it doesn't get published. At least try. Oh, and I need to be a bit healthier. I've put on so much weight this year, and I'm not talking. I mean, obviously that's another thing that's come out of 2020. I've been starting these me and my body confidence interviews, which I'm glad I did start. I'm not talking in the fact I don't like myself. I don't like the way I look. I mean, for health reasons, I need to be a bit healthier because I've put on so much weight this year. That's it, I think. I hope you all have a nice 2021. I hope it's not as bad as people think it's going to be. I hope it's going to be like, you know, the light at the end of the tunnel, things starting to get back to normal, things starting to get better. But if it doesn't, if we've got another shower of, you know what, coming, just know that you can get through this. You know, turn mainstream media off. Do what makes you feel happy and calm, and know you can get through this. Because we'll get through it together, we will. I've got to go because it's frosty, and I said I'd take Pudge and Bean for a walk over the fields. Little two wants to stay at home with the husband, but I said I'd take the big two for a walk over the fields. I was going to go on my own and film this on the fields, because the beautiful frosty fields is the backdrop. But I'd rather film this now and go for a walk with my kids than go for a walk on my own. So, I don't know if any of that made any sense whatsoever. If you check out the other videos in the description box if you fancy it. If you're new here, my name's Victoria. Homeschool, body confidence, family vlogs, all that jazz. And Happy New Year, and hopefully it could be a better year for all of us. And just try and think of the good things that did happen in 2020, because they are there, even though sometimes it's hard to see.